Well, good evening again. I hear a lot of good, positive conversation out there, which is wonderful. Certainly feel free to continue to enjoy your meal, but we want to get on with the program. We certainly want to be respectful of your time here this evening. I would like to welcome our live streaming guests. I do know we have a few people who are unable to be here in person, so they are joining us from the comfort of their own home. I hope you enjoyed the food. You should know that some of this has been sourced locally. So Blueberry Hill Farm provided some of the nourishment that you had this evening, along with Smucker's Farm Market. And all of our decorations that you see around came from Meck's Farm, just outside of Quarryville. So all preserve farms. So we're trying to live our mission in terms of supporting those local farmers who have permanently protected their land. So let's give a round of applause for Cracked Pepper, for the awesome food. For the wait staff that are working tirelessly here, trying to clean up after us. And for the Dave Wilson Band, who was giving us our entertainment here. So I hope while you're enjoying your meal, you also got an opportunity to learn a little bit more about Lancaster Farmland Trust through our interactive stations that we had around. I also hope you had a chance to speak with Bess about our draft strategic plan and that you could provide some feedback to her on the direction of Lancaster Farmland Trust. And I hope you had a chance to visit Amy, who was in the back with Acres for Auction. I did see a few people who were going back there to make some pre-bids, so certainly feel free to go back there. She loves to be visited, so she likes to see lots of faces back there. So feel free to do that. For our live stream guests who are joining us, if you haven't already made a pre-bid for Acres for Auction, you can still do that by going to our website, lancasterfarmlandtrust.org, clicking events, and then selecting the Together for the Land event. I'd also like to thank our sponsors this evening, especially the Wanger Group, who is our title sponsor. Unfortunately, we couldn't have a significant representation of the Wanger Group. We do have, a couple of people here this evening. They just had some conflicts, and we're really sad that they couldn't be here with us this evening. Would also like to recognize our Acres for Auction sponsors, PNC, Lancaster Farming, LNP, Lancaster Online, and the Steinman Foundation. If you'd please join me in a round of applause. So we're thankful and grateful for their commitment to our mission. Now for a bit of trivia, which seems very appropriate as we're here tonight to celebrate the preservation of Lancaster County's precious farmland. So the trivia that I have for you, and I know there's one or two individuals out there that know this answer, so I'm going to ask them to refrain from participating. But does anyone know the importance of September 27th in the history of Lancaster? I saw this hand up here go up first.
In 1777, it was the capital of the United States.
That's right. So if you didn't know that, Sam is right. 245 years ago, Lancaster was the capital of the nation for one day. So we led the American colonies for that one day as the national capital, but today we continue to lead the nation in farmland preservation with over 1,600 preserve farms representing over 117,000 acres, which is really remarkable. The public-private partnership between the Lancaster Farmland Trust and the Ag Preserve Board continues to be a model of excellence. I would like to acknowledge we do have two members of the Ag Preserve Board with us this evening. We have Ed Goodhart, who is in the back, who has been on the board at the Ag Preserve Board since the inception in the early 80s. And then also Commissioner D'Agostino is the commissioner who sits on the Ag Preserve Board. So when I look back 1 year, not the 245 years there, Sam, just 1 year, being the last time we were here at the Farm at Eagles Ridge for our event, the first word that comes to my mind is impact. And it's impact that Lancaster Farmland Trust has made on our community in advancing the mission of farmland preservation, the impact that we've had on the lives of farm families who want to honor their legacy of their family by permanently preserving their farm. But the impact of Lancaster Farmland Trust is not just on farm families. Our work, in part, really has created this extraordinary place that we call home, which has just a wonderful quality of life, a quality of life that all Lancastrians benefit from. The 21 farms and the 1,285 acres that we preserved within the last year certainly has contributed to ensuring that quality of life remains, and the 13 farms and 675 acres that will be preserved by the end of this year will continue to solidify the foundation of our agricultural industry, which is such an essential part of our local economy. But it's also a regional asset, as many farmers beyond Lancaster County and beyond Pennsylvania are coming here for their farming supplies and needs. Their communities just do not have the infrastructure. So it's important locally, but it's also really important on a regional perspective as well. And certainly our farmers really understand the importance of the farmland that we have here, because it's the lifeline of their business. You know, simply put, without it, farming stops, and our ability to produce food and fiber locally stops. Over the past year, we have been very intentional to try and ensure the broader Lancaster community also understands the importance of our farmland. We're trying to be more present in the community and to provide some level of access so that everyone in the community can experience agriculture. And a couple of ways that we're doing that, over the summer we held 3 breakfasts on the farm events where we had collectively about 160 people who got to come out and get their boots a little muddy on a Saturday morning, touring a farm and interacting with the farm family and really hearing about the history of their farm and their passion for agriculture. One of those was on Dutch Meadows Farm, which is down in Paradise. It's an organic farm that has an on-farm market where you can go and source their products directly from the farm. So I would encourage you to travel down close to Gap and visit the Stoltzfus family down there at Dutch Meadows. The second one was on the King Farm, which is located just north of the Lampeter-Strasburg School District complex off of Pioneer Road. This farm is actually being preserved with money that was raised through the Executive Directors Fund. That was part of our Honoring the Promise campaign. That was really in honor of Karen's leadership and dedication advancing the mission of Lancaster Farmland Trust for those 17 years. And our last breakfast, and actually, I think the closing on that farm is coming up here. I think Jeb reached out to Karen to see if she's going to be available to come and witness that one. And our last breakfast was on the Fisher Farm, where we could highlight our work in the water quality space, where we assisted the family with various management practices that improve the environmental performance of their farm, but also improve just the daily management of their operation. And as Mr. Fisher stated, he said this project brought a new life to the farm and provided a vision for his kids to see their ability to be involved in agriculture in the future. So that was very inspiring for us to hear that, our engagement there, he believes, really put the farm up to the next level. And that experience also forged a very positive relationship with the Fisher family. Their farm is not preserved, but they are now seriously considering the preservation of their farm. So it was great to be able to build and forge that relationship working with them on a water quality project. This farm is also adjacent to the Strasburg Railroad. So it's one of those farms that if you ride the railroad or you take friends or family that's in visiting, this would be a farm that you could see. So we're very excited about that opportunity. We were also a featured nonprofit at the Longs Park Summer Music Series, where we received a standing ovation for the success of farmland preservation in the county. And we also gleaned the contact information of about 125 people at that event who were interested in learning more about Lancaster Farmland Trust. We participated in Water Week, where we led a tour of those interested on a preserved farm of a forest riparian buffer that's down along the Pequay Creek. We're the nonprofit beneficiary of Run PA's Strasburg Half Marathon and 5K, which is happening on October the 8th. Starts at the Strasburg J.C. Park at 8 a.m. So if you're a runner, I know there are some runners in the room, we hope that you will be there for the Strasburg Half Marathon on the 8th. And we're also hosting our first ever Harvest Fest at Elizabeth Farms on October 28th, which is open to the public. This is an opportunity for the public to come out, to learn about farmland preservation, to learn more about agriculture. It should really be a fun evening, really, we've designed it for the entire family to come out. There's pick your own pumpkins, there's a corn maze, we're going to have food available, so it should be a really fun activity. We're going to have campfires, so you can come out and roast some marshmallows and enjoy an evening on the farm. And then from October 23rd to the 29th of this year will be the second year for Lancaster County's Restaurant Week, which directly benefits Lancaster Farmlands Trust mission. So please visit Discover Lancaster's website to look up participating restaurants. And I encourage you to eat out often that week. Your waistline might grow, but please know that you're preserving farmland at the same time. So I think it's okay. So now back to more impact. From 2019 through 2021, the most significant impact on Lancaster Farmland Trust was our Honoring the Promise campaign. Well, there was also that little thing called COVID that happened in the middle there, but I think we can all agree just to forget about that for the time being, and then hopefully we're past that. The Honoring the Promise campaign was Lancaster Farmland Trust's first capital campaign in the history of the organization, where we had a goal of raising $7.5 million to preserve 50 farms that were on our waiting list. The active phase of the campaign ended in 2021, and we exceeded our goal by nearly $1 million. That will result not in the preservation of 50 farms, but 62 farms. It will also result in $3.5 million being invested into the Amos Funk Land Stewardship Fund, which is really critical in terms of our long-term stewardship obligations of all the easements that are entrusted to us, as we have to go out there and monitor and steward those easements in perpetuity. So that fund is very important to the long-term sustainability of the organization. I would like to give thanks to Peggy Steinman, who is here with us this evening, as well as Barry Shaw, for being our honorary co-chairs of the campaign. For our many steering committee members, many of you are in the room here, thanks for your time and wisdom and energy. And to the tireless effort of Don Hess and Kara Martinick, who were out soliciting many gifts from our very generous donors. And some of you, I think, have already heard this, but I do believe some of our success during that campaign is Don became very skilled. When they would enter someone's home, he would lock the door behind him so that nobody could leave. And the other thing is, if you do not know, Don is a certified public accountant, so he would provide unsolicited tax advice to donors of how their gifts could really benefit them from a tax perspective and advance the mission of farmland preservation. So we were happy to have Bonnie and Clyde out doing all that work with our donors. But our work didn't stop with the campaign. We have many more families who desire to protect their land forever. And tonight we have the opportunity during Acres for Auction to preserve 2 farms totaling 134 acres. Both of the farms are located in Strasburg Township, and both of the families are with us this evening. So a huge thank you to Sandy Wanger and June Stum, who is right back here. Thanks for being here. As well as to John and Deb Mack, which is off here to my right, for being here with us this evening. We really appreciate your desire to permanently protect your farm. And I heard a little bit talking with Sandy and Juno on the way in, that obviously they're neighbors. And when we referenced that John and Deb were the other farm that was being highlighted for Acres for Auction, they all started to laugh because John used to provide hay to Sandy and Judy, and it sounds like there's a long relationship there. So it's nice to feature both of them this evening. So let's actually take a moment to hear directly from Sandy and June about their farm with this video that we have for you.
This farm came into my particular family back in the 1960s, probably around 1967. June and I had opportunity at public auction to purchase this 30 acres and a house in 1998.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's nothing greater than being able to look out your door, your window, and see open spaces. 20 acres of this, all but 31 acres, is being farmed. Crops grown are soybeans, corn, and alfalfa. I would say this particular site is an asset to the ag community. We all need areas of food production.
To know that we're raising crops on here that will be used to feed cows, to produce milk and butter and cheese and all the things we really need. It's very rewarding, to be able to experience that. This is an agriculture area. It's zoned ag for today, and hopefully it'll stay that way for a long time.
It's a great video. Thanks, Sandy and June, for doing that. And I hope hearing directly from them about their farm and seeing the imagery of it is really compelling for you when we get to Acres for Auction and when Steve Risk is going around here trying to solicit dollars out of your pockets to help us preserve those farms. So the capital campaign was a great success for Lancaster Farmland Trust, but it also led a change in leadership with Karen retiring at the end of 21, and now yours truly at the helm here. And the challenge, or should I say the opportunity that we have, is how do we continue the upward trajectory of Lancaster Farmland Trust, and how do we accelerate the permanent protection and stewardship of farmland across Lancaster County. And it seemed appropriate, and it was also time, for Lancaster Farmland Trust to develop a bold new strategic plan so that we can continue to have meaningful impact on the Lancaster community. And we know that our farmland is at risk to conversion. A recent report from American Farmland Trust suggests that Lancaster County will be one of 3 hardest hit counties in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and will lose an additional 18,000 acres of farmland outside of our designated growth areas by 2040 if we continue to build at the same rate and density that we have since 2016. To translate that, 18,000 acres is the equivalent of 231 average-sized Lancaster County farms. So an average Lancaster County farm is 78 acres. So the next time you're driving around through the countryside, start counting farms and visualize the loss of that landscape, the loss of food production, the loss of quality of life, the loss of the place that we call home, when you get to number 231 and realize that's the potential that might be lost. So if that's not a call for action, I'm not sure what is. And it's really why we decided to embark on a very aggressive strategic plan, because we feel we have to in terms of protecting what we all love and cherish about Lancaster County. So to develop that plan, we did compile a strategic planning committee that consisted of board and staff and some external stakeholders to really guide that process. We conducted multiple interviews with various individuals. We solicited input via different surveys. We held virtual gatherings, and we field tested that plan with dozens of individuals to really ensure that we're on a path that benefits the community the most. And while it's still in draft form, we do intend to have the board approve the plan later this year. So again, please go back and visit Bess. She's eager to hear your input related to the plan. Please be honest. We want candid feedback related to that plan. So in the plan, we have a vision where our farms, soil, water, and roots are protected for all. And we're going to realize that vision by accelerating the permanent protection and stewardship of farmland. And we're going to do all this work by valuing the following: a lasting commitment to farmers and sustainable farms, land preservation for thriving communities and a resilient environment, authentic engagement with Lancaster's broader community, enduring relationships built on trust, community connectedness for collective action, and innovative thinking and continuous improvement. Our 3-year priorities and strategies will be preserve, to protect more farmland and support thriving farms; conserve, to contribute to the restoration of water and soil; and to connect, to increase our visibility and partnerships to engage more people in our mission; and to sustain, so that we can expand and diversify the funding for land protection and for our organizational capacity. We've also included some shared results across the Lancaster community that we hope to achieve by 2030. This is really the collective work of all of us working in the space of farmland preservation and in stewardship of farmland. But through those collective efforts, we can realize clean and clear water on 1,200 miles of streams by 2030. We can also collectively preserve an additional 25,000 acres, which, if we're successful, will result in 35% of all our agriculturally zoned farmland in the county permanently preserved and protected. To preserve that additional 25,000 acres, we need to raise from private and public sources an average of $10 million a year, for a total of $70 million over the next 7 years, which is about $3.5 to $4 million increase annually from what is either raised or contributed today. So, is the plan aggressive? I would like to say yes, it is. And we were very intentional in being aggressive. Is it bold? You're darn right it's bold. Because I know that you wouldn't expect or accept anything less from Lancaster Farmland Trust. And we need all of you, and we need a lot more people that are not in this room tonight to really make that plan a reality. So I hope as you leave here this evening, you will go and advocate with your friends, colleagues, family members about the importance of Lancaster County farmland and the importance of permanently protecting it. With that said, I am happy to stand in front of you tonight to say that we're already off to a record pace in reaching that goal with the recent award of $1.52 million from the Lancaster County Commissioners that will result in the preservation of 21 farms and over 1,500 acres. The announcement of this award will actually be made this Thursday. That announcement will be made this Thursday, so September the 29th at 8:30 a.m. At the Larry and Ruth McFarland Farm. If you would like to attend, please see one of our staff and you can get additional details. Media release went out, but obviously we want as many people there as possible. Because again, there's no better way to stress the importance of farmland preservation to have faces of people that say it's important to them. So please come out there. And at this time, I would like to invite both of our commissioners, Commissioner D'Agostino and then Commissioner Truscott, to come up and say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. I'll be brief and just say thank you so much for what you do to the staff, to the board of directors, and all of you as supporters of the Farmland Trust. We don't get to be number one in the nation in terms of agricultural preservation without the support of all of you, the private sector, but also the public sector. We work well together. And that's important, because that's how we get things done in Lancaster County. I grew up in the inner city, concrete jungle. I didn't see my first farm. We were just talking about this. I didn't see my first farm until I went to college. It was a culture shock. Then I come here to Lancaster County. And you can't help but come to this place, realize how special it is. From its roots, literally the literal roots, but also the heritage, the cultural heritage, the bond that we share as people, both past, present, and hopefully future. And that's what we're talking about today, is the future of Lancaster County. To preserve this place, this very special place, for the future, for our kids and our grandkids. And that's what we do. That's why we partner. That's why we work together to preserve this wonderful landscape that we have, and the future of farming, which is so important to our future as a region, as a county, as a region, as a country, to make sure that we continue to have the food that we need. But Lancaster Farmland Trust and others in this county, and we are working alongside as county commissioners, along with other groups like the Clean Water Partners, to preserve not just farmland, but take it a step further. And this is something else I want to thank and praise, excuse me, the Farmland Trust for. Because you're not only preserving the land for farming, you're preserving the natural resources. You're also looking at water quality, which is so very important to Lancaster County. Lancaster County's farmland is special because it is the most productive, non-irrigated soil in the country. We want to preserve that aspect as well. We understand that, we get that, we work together to make it happen. So on behalf of the county commissioners, thank you so much for what you do. We look forward to partnering with you in the future. I'll turn it over to my colleague.
Thank you, Ray. Well, my first job at 12 years old was sitting behind a tractor, putting quarters of potatoes into the ground, sitting on the tractors. That's how you did it back when. I grew up in North Florida. It was potato and cabbage country. This is corn country, but I kind of relate to it. Coming in as county commissioner and looking at the agricultural industry here, because it's the Farmland Trust, it's the Ag Preserve Board, it's the farms, and the farms being successful, the paper like the Lancaster Lancaster Farmer is all over the East Coast as a thing, because people look at this county as an example of how to do farming correctly. I really appreciate how the Farmland Trust works with Matt Nepper and the Agricultural Preserve Group in the county government to combine, have over 119,000 acres of preserved farms, and knowing that there's another 72,000 acres of preserved potential areas of farmland still there. I moved here from Beijing, China, about 10 to 11 years ago. It's a different world. I look at Lancaster County and enjoy how green it is. I look forward every year to when it's time to eat corn and tomatoes. I just eat corn and tomatoes for about 3 weeks, and that's about it. That people get involved and do things. I will say that I was really glad to see the money that we gave to the Farmland Trust, or credited the Farmland Trust recently, that we'll celebrate on Thursday, that all of those farms that were part of that have best land management practices as part of it, so that as we do more preserved farms, we continue to upgrade what they will be and how they will make the water cleaner and better, and hopefully we'll do that more with preserved farms that are part of what the county's doing. So I've only been doing this for 7 months, but as a county commissioner, but I see how much effort is gone into it and the benefit to it, and I thank everyone here for putting their time, and I think for Jeff, I'll say money, into the Farmland Trust, and that it does make Lancaster a special place. So thank you very much for your time, and thank you for being part of this.
Great, thank you, commissioners. Appreciate your comments. And it really is, you know, and Commissioner Diaz-Sino, you referenced this, you know, these 21 farms, I mean, it's going to be a great launching point to our 25,000 acres, but that wouldn't have been possible if we also weren't working in the water quality space. That was very essential in terms of the commissioner's decision related to this, because water quality is a huge challenge here in Lancaster County. And it really just reinforces our role in that space, and we continue to elevate that role, it seems to be, every year. It seems to be growing exponentially every year as we continue to feel those pressures related to water quality. So those 21 farms will have what's called comprehensive nutrient management plans developed, which if you're not in the biz, you don't know what that is. It's just a really high-level plan that gets these farms to be, quote, shovel-ready. So it's about as best as you can get a farm without actually starting to put things in the ground. But it really lays out what all those best management practices, those conservation practices are. And then we're really tasked to go out and find the resources to fund those. So we'll be looking to access various grant opportunities to implement those conservation practices on these farms, which will add to our existing portfolio of water quality grants that we have, which is currently at 20, with one that was just announced earlier this week. Those total $7.2 million. So it's a big area of our work anymore. And a big thanks and credit to our staff who work just to the bone on this. I mean, Amy manages all these grants, which is just exceptional, and Jeb and Maddie for all their time, and Gordon and Phil, who are out engaging with landowners, trying to get their buy-in. They just do an amazing job at it, and we're really fortunate to have them to be members of our team. But all of those grants will fund conservation practices on 24 farms. 12 of those we currently have in progress right now. We're also working to develop 10 other comprehensive nutrient management plans on farms in the Pequay Creek watershed. And that funding also does support our outreach and education work, which is really a critical and necessary step to get farmers to yes. Again, as we call it in the biz, how do we get farmers to the yes? How do we get them to be agreeable to implement these practices? And over the past year, our team has visited approximately 300 farmers in Lancaster County to begin that dialogue about, what challenges are they experiencing on their farm related to their natural resource management, and how can we be of assistance to them. So as you can tell by the volume of our work, Lancaster Farmland Trust is a leader in the water quality space, and we have a video here that we'd like to highlight demonstrating the impact that we're having in the community.
We think farmers can really be the solution to a lot of our water quality impairment problems in Lancaster County. We have a lot of dairy farms in Lancaster County, and the cows on those farms produce manure. That manure is very rich in nitrogen and phosphorus, and we call that nutrients. When spread at the right time and in the right amount across the fields, the nutrients is what gives us our rich soil and gives our crops its nutrient value. The problem is when it's spread at the wrong time, it doesn't infiltrate the soil, and then an event like a rainstorm can take all of that nutrients right off the farm and into the water. And not only does that affect the water quality here in Lancaster County, but it also impairs the water in the Chesapeake Bay because we share a watershed with them.
We're in a situation right now where dairy farming agriculture is better now than it has been in 6 years. It's going to take that to pass it to the next generation. But on top of that, I believe my sons need to see that what Dad's doing makes sense, that he does care about his property, he does care about the future of the world, really.
The Fisher Farm had some really impactful best management practices installed. The first thing we were able to do was a new manure storage unit around the barnyard. They were also able to add a roofed heavy use area. They were also able to do some stream bank best management practices that included fencing, which will keep livestock out of the stream, and also a couple crossings, which will protect stream banks from animal crossings.
It's been a tremendous improvement to the farm. There are a lot of people out there like I am. We're very...
We think farmers can really be the solution. The Fisher Farm had some really impactful best management practices installed. The first thing we were able to do was a new manure storage unit around the barnyard. They were also able to add...
We'll just end it there. So the voice that you heard there was Jonas Fisher, who I referenced earlier, where we did one of the breakfasts, which was just, if you were there, I hope you really appreciated it. If you weren't there, you really missed something extraordinary. It was just great engagement. Jonas is just a very dynamic individual, very passionate about his farm, and took the group around and talked about his operation, talked about these changes on his farm and how it helped him and really inspired him, and again could provide that vision for his children. So again, we will do more of those breakfasts next summer. So when you hear about those, please sign up. We like to have as many faces out there as possible because it really is a very unique experience. So at this time, I would like to invite my friend, Allison Gibson, who's also the Director of Strategic Partnerships and Programs at the Lancaster Clean Water Partners, to provide a bit more perspective on the water quality efforts here in the county. Allison?
Good evening, all. So I used to live on an island in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay, smack in the middle. The sunsets and the sunrises were beautiful, all of the colors, and I could see for miles, the whole way to the northern tip, to the southern beaches on clear days. The Maryland-Virginia line ran straight through the island, and that was a political boundary, not really the kind recognized by nature, but open space was part of everyday life. It gave the watermen access to the underwater grass beds where they could harvest soft crabs. Open space guaranteed that those entrepreneurial, industrial-spirited men could start before dawn on their own boat and harvest the bounty God had provided for them. They never planted a seed or tilled an acre, but rather they depend on us upstream to be the stewards of that open space and the water that flows downstream to them. I finally realized that that open space was a comfort of home, like Lancaster County, where I grew up, but with a wavy blue landscape instead of the farms and green rolling hills that I treasured. But it had the same feelings of peace, of independence, of culture and community. And much of why I have those memories is thanks to the work of the Lancaster Farmland Trust. My name is Allison Gibson. I'm with the Lancaster Clean Water Partners. My role today is to facilitate Lancaster's collaborative and diverse work towards a common goal of clean and clear water by 2040. We serve as the hub of the clean water work because there is so much to do, and there are a lot of people doing it. But scaling up and increasing the pace in this space needs coordination. Lancaster County's local creeks and rivers need us, and working to support our local farms and our local creeks and the farmers are the best opportunity to see successful water quality improvements. All of that will literally trickle downstream to those watermen in the bay. Ice cream, cattle feed, eggs, vegetables, any local product that supports healthy streams and vibrant farms is important because over half of Lancaster County's 1,400 miles of streams are considered impaired or unhealthy, meaning they can't support basic bug life, and they're not safe for us to swim or fish from. The pollutants causing our streams, as you heard, are sediment, nitrogen, and phosphorus. Lancaster streams have some of the highest levels of these pollutants in the region. The pollutants find their way into our streams running off the land from parking lots, roads, farm fields, backyards, and more. The way we take care of our land directly impacts the health of our streams as well as our businesses and our families. We believe that we can meet the water quality and the farm goals simultaneously while also improving the quality of life in Lancaster County. In order to accomplish this, though, we have to work together in new and inspiring ways. New ways means not trying to tackle every single project in the entire county at one time. It means being strategic and tackling conservation needs of parcels within a small community or small watershed where all of the runoff drains into the same creek that all the neighbors depend on for drinking water and for fishing. Gordon and Phil have visited hundreds of farmers within these small strategic areas. And they've discovered that the farmer, he or she might want to install a new practice. The collaborative efforts need to take that interest, that landowner, from concept through construction, efficiently addressing the planning, the permitting, getting a design, hiring the contractors, and finding the funding to make all of this happen. Do that 20, 30, 100 times over until an entire watershed area has been restored, until the creek and the community are healthy. Sometimes I think that we should all have a new title of agriculture and financial navigator. In the last 5 years, the Lancaster Clean Water Partners have with the leadership and the partners at the Lancaster Farmland Trust have increased the cooperation among everyone working in Lancaster. And as a result, everyone has been able to scale up and do more. The dollar figures for clean water work today, specifically related to agriculture, are in the tens of millions, not the tens of thousands we got one grant at a time, one project at a time in the past. We're thinking and acting bigger, going for funding and projects that get us bigger results. A shift is happening. We're walking the talk and seeing Lancaster's incredibly motivated community members fueling this work. So for an individual farmer who is considering preserving that piece of his or her family's legacy, also taking care of the land in a way that directly improves water quality makes complete sense. Lancaster Farmland Trust makes both of these goals attainable for landowners who together create Lancaster's open space. And it's working. Both nitrogen and phosphorus trends are improving for short and long-term studies at river input monitoring stations on the Susquehanna River, according to the Chesapeake Bay program. The U.S. Geological Survey reports 3 monitoring sites on waterways draining from Lancaster, from the Pequay Creek, from the Octorara Creek, and from the Conestoga River. They show decreasing nitrogen trends for 9 years straight, more than any other location within the Susquehanna River Basin. We believe in our ability to accomplish our goals and build a better Lancaster County. We envision farms that both better the environment and thrive economically, supported by responsible and engaged supply chains. We envision a future of open space that includes trees to help filter runoff before it gets to the streams. And we see a future of streams that we can safely fish in and swim in and kayak, and land that provides bountiful habitat for wildlife and bountiful yields for our food system. On that island in the Chesapeake, we were very aware of the phases of the moon because the reflection helped us see those marshy edges as we had to navigate at night through all of that open space. Leaders, much like the moon, seem to have a gravitational force about them. People want to be on a winning team, which is definitely Lancaster as we get closer to our goals. But as a moon-like leader, we're not generating our own light, but rather reflecting that of others. The Lancaster Clean Water Partners, our mission is to increase the capacity of our partner organizations that are working towards clean and clear water by 2040, with the responsibility to reduce 20% of Pennsylvania's nitrogen and phosphorus that are flowing to the Chesapeake. Lancaster needs big leaders and big work. We believe the leadership can and is coming from the multitude of stars in the sky, incredible partners like the Lancaster Farmland Trust and you all, the entire community around us. So I challenge you to keep pushing, keep going for big numbers, big goals. The Lancaster Farmland Trust's leadership for both agriculture and for water quality cannot be eclipsed, creating a landscape and an environment that inspires every single day.
Great. Thank you, Allison. Sorry, back here. Now moving about. As I'm sure you can tell, Allison is very knowledgeable about the issues that we have in Lancaster County in terms of water quality. And being chair of the Lancaster Clean Water Partners, he told me not to walk in front of the speaker, and I just did it. You know, we're really fortunate to have Allison really driving this effort, so thank you for all that you do for Lancaster County. So we are now at the point of the program that you've all been waiting for. If you look in front, you can see we have 2 signs here. This one says 31 acres, and this one says 103 acres. And you'll notice that you can start to see an image that's starting to pop out there. Those are pre-bids for acres for auction that some of you have generously made. And we are going to kick off our acres for auction, but first I have to introduce our auctioneer, who's, oh, there he is, back in the background. How are you, Mr. Risk?
I'm good. How about all of you? Good to be here tonight. Going to be a great night. It's been a great night so far. There it is. First thing you need to do, if you haven't been here before, is pick up this envelope. All right? I heard that. Don't touch that. No, do touch that, both of you. Okay? Because you're not going to get away. And then inside is a special yellow card. I won't show you the whole number, but you have a number on your card. And that's what we want to see. Yellow cards flying up in the air, donating $500 per acre. And Jeff, in the past, Karen was digital up here just frantically filling in blocks. Jeff came up with a smoother operation. He's just going to peel off a card. All right? The new generation. All right, so you understand what it is? We're expecting $500 an acre. Now, that could be done by several of you in a table, all putting in, 5 of you, $100 apiece. Or we do accept quarter acres and half acres, but let's first start with full acres. So this light is great here. I'm going to move somewhere else and get here in the middle. So raise your card. Who wants to start with 25 acres? Really get it off with a bang. That didn't work last week neither.
But Steve, I like your aspiration in there, because if we're going to get 25,000 acres between now and 2030, we need people to be buying 25 acres at a time.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you don't have to do it tonight, but we're always open for business at Lancaster Farmland Trust, so you can send us a check whenever you would like.
All right. So we'll drop it down. Somebody always wants to do 5 acres. So who wants to start with 5 acres tonight? Right there, Mr. Hess, the leader of the pack, number 51, peel off 5 acres. 1. That's going to take too long. He can go ahead and do it. Karen almost drilled it all by now. All right, how about 2 acres? Who wants to go with 2 acres? Don't be shy. All right, we'll start with acres. 1 acre at a time. It would go a lot faster if you do 25, but we'll start over here at this table. Who would like to do an acre? Don't be shy. Number 82 will do an acre. Anybody else? You're reaching, you're thinking. Okay, how about this table over here in the back? This young lady. Is that 86 or 89? I don't neither. Well, let's look what it says here. It's 86. We'll do 1 acre. Thank you. So she'll do 2 acres. 86, 2 acres. Thank you very much. Anyone else? 4 acres, number 87. 87, 4 acres. Now we're rolling. Yes, sir. Go right ahead. 1 acre, number 99, 1 acre. And I know you want to go. 2 acres, number 6. Okay. How about this table here? Karen, number 72, 1 acre. Thank you, thank you. How about you, young lady? 1 acre, 114, 114. And this table here, how about this table? Yes, sir. 1 acre, 115. 5 acres, 96. Thank you so much, my lady. Thank you very, very much. Oh, I almost missed this table, or did I already hit you guys up? Don't be shy. I'll be back. All right, moving right along to this wonderful round table of people. 2 acres and number 58, 5-8. Very good. Look, we almost see the sky over on this one, and we're starting over there. 1 acre, 97, 1 acre. All right, great. Yes, sir. Oh, we already got, how about this table? 2 acres, number 80, number 80. Anybody else? 26, 1 acre, 26. Thank you. Over here. Oh, did I miss somebody? Did I hear somebody whisper? Oh, they're just talking to one. Come back to it. Okay, you want to be the difficult one. All right. How about this table? 2 acres, 28, 2 acres, 28, 2 acres. Anybody else at this table?
Hey, Steve, sorry. I just got an online bid from Gary and Christina Seldenbridge for 5 acres.
All right, 5 acres. Woo! That's a roll. How about this table? Yes, sir. Number 37, 3 acres. 37 is 3 acres. Anyone else? We'll move right along to this table. 93, we'll do 1 acre. Thank you, sir. You're reaching over there. 1 acre, 109. 2 acres, 61. All All right, we're rolling now, we're rolling. Thank you all. This young man right here, number 84, 1 acre. And this young lady, 47, 1 acre. And I said 84. Right. Anybody else? There. This young man, how many? 2 acres, number 33. 2 acres, number 33. And now coming right around here to this wonderful table. Don't be shy, Mr. Armstrong. How many acres would you like to donate? Mr. Armstrong would like to do 2 acres. I'll help him with his number. And of course, he would be number 1. Our number 1 senator, retired, Gibson Armstrong, my good friend. Thank you, sir. All right. How about this table here? How many do we got here? You did it pre. All right. So that's already up there. Thank you. I can use your number again, though. You almost went for it. All right. So here we are. We've got, how far are we going now? That farm's only got, what, 2 spots left? And you? You got a lot. We got a long ways to go. Now it's time to up the game. All right? Yes, sir. 2 acres, 106. To that farm over, to the Mech farm. He pointed, no. Clean that one off. I'm sorry. No, no. Stop. I didn't get directions quite right. All right, 1 farm done. All right. So we're more than a third of the way. All right, anybody else? Come on now. How about somebody else? Where are we going? We need to do this. 50. 1 acre, number 50. Very good.
Steve, I got a couple more online bids. Bill and Phyllis White sold 2 acres, Amanda. And Rob Bowman, 2 acres.
All right. I have a rumor that Mr. Shoemaker wrote in an acre.
That is correct. He put in 1 acre.
All right, Mr. Shoemaker, my good friend, grew up together in Quarryville, ornery 2 guys. How about it? Anybody else? Yes, sir.
John and Catherine Cox.
John and Catherine Cox will take an acre. Thank you, sir, for donating their money. Excellent job, sir. Excellent job.
Hey, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Our host this evening, Mr. Herr, wherever he ran off to, he would like to buy an acre. His number is
49 an acre. Thank you, Stuart, wherever you are. All right, we're getting pretty close to halfway over there. The other one's gone, so we got to keep going. How about more acres? We'll come back over here again. All right, don't be shy. I'm going to keep coming around. Did you see what they did with the door? They put a bar across. You don't get out until, oh, there are desserts up there. But if you go up there and buy a dessert, get a dessert right now, I'm going to hit you up for an acre. All right? No dessert. No dessert till you give an acre. Anybody else? Come on, we got a ways to go.
Hey, Steve. Oh.
Here's 2 more on number 80. Thank you, number 80, 2 more. Yes, Jeff.
I was just going to suggest maybe we should pause and we can provide a little bit more inspiration for the crowd when we can watch another video of the Mechs and their farm and hear a little bit about their story. And if you would like to sneak up and grab some dessert, feel free to do so, but just know that Steve's going to be up there twisting your arm when you do that.
Let it roll.
I've been farming all of my life. Grew up on the family farm, represent the 3rd generation of Mech, and fortunately we're blessed by our next generation. We have a son that's interested in continuing this generational family business asset. There's a business side to farming, and then there's a generational asset that is beyond just business. So there's part of this is a lifestyle. We are looking at preserving the 104 acres that we presently own. We like the land to be something that's used as a stewardship to the community, to extended family, to many people. We feel very good about the idea and the concept and the reality that this will be preserved in farming for beyond our lifetime.
I have a question. Don, correct me if I'm wrong on this. If you make a donation, you can deduct that from your taxes, correct?
I'm sorry, what?
Don, stay with me. Come on, dude. Come on. I know you already gave, but you're an accountant, right? All right. So, if you donate money, you can deduct that from your taxes, right? That's correct. That's correct. So this is free money, dudes and dudettes. In other words, you know, $500 to donate an acre, you take it off your taxes, and the government doesn't get it. So let's give more to our local community than that outfit in Washington, D.C. All right? So that's my pitch. For more acres, come on. Starting back over in this corner, I see a guy, that speech got him inspired. 43, doing 20 acres. 4 acres, 43, 4 acres. 1 acre, 83. Thank you very much. 1 acre, 104. All right. 4 acres. He's not gonna let you outdo him. He's gonna match you. 104. My number? I'll do an acre at 101. Okay? All right. Okay. Thank you. All right. 101 an acre. Anybody else? More back here?
How many?
Quarter acre, 76. 1 acre, 81.
Sorry to interrupt, Steve. I got a couple people to pre-bid here.
Okay.
An acre for Jean Bauer, thank you so much. An acre from Ann Leggacker. An anonymous 4 acres.
Ooh.
And 2 acres for Carrie Hill. Thank you guys so much.
Excellent. Very good. You're just ripping away up there, young lady. Way to go. All right.
And Steve.
Yes, sir.
I was just handed a piece of paper, 1 acre for the Richmonds. Thank you for your generosity this evening.
Very good. Excellent. All right. Coming back over here to this table. Already, I like his smile. You know, he's up to something. I can tell. How about here? Another acre? 110, 1 acre. Fantastic. She's buying her friend's acre because they already took care of all her acres. All right, can't even buy one of your own now, you know? Oh my goodness gracious. All right, back to this table. Come on. We mooking around. I know there's more, I can get more out of this table. How about you? Number 102. For 1 acre, 102, 1 acre. Thank you all very much. This table here.
Hey, Steve.
Yes, sir.
102 was very close to my number. My number was 100. So how about you put me down for 2 acres?
All right. 100 for 2 acres. You know what? The blocks are a lot smaller on that side than they were on this side. Same size picture, more acres.
We're making you work.
Yeah.
Steve, I got a couple more online bids here. I got 1 acre for Don White, 1 acre for the Coolingles, and 2 acres for Gockenhauer Kennel.
Just the other night, I was if you don't know much about me, I do off-road adventures. And the other night, I was in an event where we gave this old Jeep grill, we auctioned it off, and for an old Jeep grill with lights that came on to hang on your wall, we sold that for $2,500. You know, so let's go here. This is for the green stuff. And I don't mean money, the green land that we're saving.
Steve, I just got a text message from Representative Keith Greiner, who would like to do a half acre.
All right, Keith Greiner, half acre. Table. Coming back around. Don't get missed. And over here, this guy's still eating. You know, I won't interrupt your eating, but you know, you put your fork down and just get an acre, you know, would be nice. Don't you ladies think? Okay, I'm sorry, I interrupted his meal. How about over here? Any more? Come on. We got what? 20 acres or so to go, 20, 25 acres?
Steve,
Come
I've
on.
got another anonymous pre-bid in the room for 1 acre, please.
All right, another 1 acre. How about that one that's holding out and wants to do 5 acres? Or somebody wants to be the big stick and do all 20 acres? Not 115, I take it. No, he's ignoring me. He doesn't even know that's his number. All right. Another acre. Come on, another acre. We got more to go. We got more to go. We can't get out the door till we get it all sold.
Steve, former board chair Dave Brunheiser, who couldn't be here tonight, just pledged 3 acres.
Yeah, he's the one that conned me into taking this job, and he doesn't show up. Yeah, no, I'm still here. Well, maybe he is the brighter one. Okay, we got more acres to give and go and go and give. So throw those yellow cards up in the air. I don't have to be at your end of the room. Just wave it or blink at me, and I'll get you. All right, this table coming around, don't be shy. We got 20 to go, so we can't leave till we're done.
Steve, we had a bid come in from Michelle and Richard Atwater. Michelle's a former board member. They would like to do 3 acres.
3 acres for the Atwaters.
And also, John and Joyce Seger would like to do 2 acres.
All right, the Steger's 2 acres. We need those phone calls coming because looks like we twisted. Any more? Come on, we got to get this done. Don't be shy, don't be shy. Don't be holding up to be the last unless you want to get 25 acres and you can be the last and buy the whole house and maybe start to the second. 17, how many acres? 2 acres for 17. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. 2, 3, 4, 5, they all go quicker, and I'll leave you alone.
Steve, I have 1 acre for homes in Caroline Morton.
All right, fantastic.
And I have 1 acre for Susanna Sham.
All right, Susanna, oh, good for her. All right, folks, we're not done here yet. Come on, come on, come on, come on. You know, the other day I was at this Jeep event, and we should have had a video of that. In Vermont, there's class 4 roads. Nobody maintains them. And there was a stream running over here, and with the big rain they had, something happened. The road we were on has water running down it, and Steve's trying to be a guide and going through lightly and gingerly. Sean, the guide, went down, fell in the water, and I said, I hope this isn't the rock that he stepped on. Whoom! On my back in the water, stood up. Now my shoes are full of water. So I finished the day, soggy shoes. That's just a side story to get you're caught off guard. Now we're back to acres again. All right, how many acres? Friday night, I really put up with a real tough crowd. I officiate high school football, so those guys don't cooperate very well neither, because I got to pull that yellow flag out. They didn't bring that today. Yes, sir, 116. 10 acres, 10 acres. Thank you, sir. I knew I liked that smile. I knew I liked that smile. Okay, back over to this side of the room. I'm in this quadrant.
Steve, I just got some online bids. Susanna Michael Shucker, 1 acre. Henry and Linda Spire, 1 acre. And I'm also going to put an acre. I'm number 7.
All right, 1 more acre.
Oh, and wait, 1 more.
Whoa, whoa.
Carolyn and Robert Kilgore, also an acre.
All right, another acre. Well, 2 left. Who wants to buy the last 2? Come on, it's your last chance. Right there, right there, Commissioner. Are you going to take the last 2 and finish the night? Number 23, thank you. See, the things they say about you aren't all true. You know? Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That clears the board. Now, but what about getting ready for the next farm? We don't want to leave any money on the table. So if anybody's here that came with the intention of buying an acre and was shy, don't be shy any longer. Just jump up with your card and let's start the next one off. Or Back to you, Jeff.
Great, thanks, Steve.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you all very much.
A real appreciation to Steve. He's done this now for a couple of years. Obviously, it takes a very unique personality to be able to go around and do this, and Steve does it exceptionally well. So we're thankful and fortunate for your dedication, Steve. Thank you. And thanks to all of you for your generosity this evening. Know that you just preserved 134 acres, which is really great. So, and know that the two families that are in the room that represents these farms, now have that comfort that their farm will always be there for generations and generations and generations. So, again, thank you for coming out this evening. That concludes our program, but there is dessert, there is coffee, the bar is still open. Certainly feel free to hang around and socialize. We will have to exit at some point, so we can't stay too late. But feel free to mingle and socialize. Again, thanks for coming out. Thank you for your support of Lancaster Farmland Trust. It was great to really see everyone, and we hope to see you again soon, and if not, back here again next year. Thank you. Just a reminder for everyone, if you did buy an acre here this evening, please fill out your speed pass, which should be in your packet, and then provide that over to Amy, who's over off to the side here. Thank you.
That's